Hi everyone. Let's see. Today's idea is to review more about the zero conditional. Remember that there are two sentences. Both of them have the present simple tense in the if clause and in the second one. So let's review a little bit about that and ask questions if you have any at the end of the session. Okay. So let's move on this. Okay. Remember that the zero conditional is to talk about some truths or something that is true for a routine or in the every single life. Entonces recuerden que nosotros lo vamos a utilizar para hablar de cosas que son ciertas y que tienen un resultado lógico, que son verdaderas, que son real, son reales. Y pues en nuestro caso, hoy lo vamos a ver en el uso de nuestra propia rutina y cómo aplica esa verdad para mí. So we can make zero conditional sentences with two present simple verbs. Remember that the present simple verbs, it can be third person singular, or if it is any other person, remember the rules for some of them. One in the if clause, entonces recuerden que una es la if clause, this one, the first part, and one is the main clause, if clause, main clause. This conditional is used when the result will always happen. Entonces el resultado siempre va a suceder. Pueda que sea una situación para mí en particular o para todo el mundo. So we have the same example. If water reaches 100 degrees, it always boils. It's something that is true. It's a fact. Entonces es un hecho que no podemos modificar. I'm talking in general, not about one particular situation. The result of the if clause is always the main clause. Entonces el resultado de una if clause pues siempre va a ser la main clause, como esta parte principal. The if in this conditional can usually be replaced but when, entonces podemos reemplazar if por when sin cambiar el significado. For example, if water reaches 100 degrees, it boils. Esto es siempre verdadero. If I eat peanuts, I'm sick. Entonces, si yo como maní, me enfermo. This is true only for me, maybe not for everyone, but it's still true that I'm sick every time I eat peanuts. Entonces, ¿qué quiere decir? Que nosotros podemos utilizar este condicional, y es a lo que quiero que lleguemos, cuando nosotros hablamos de hechos reales que ninguno puede modificar, pero también lo puedo utilizar en mi vida, ¿sí? Entonces nos daban una oración, yo me enfermo cada vez que consumo este alimento. No es una verdad para todos, pero sí es una particularidad para alguien y viene siendo real. So we have here some examples, but first of all, okay, after those examples, reading them, if people eat too much, they get fat. Entonces ellos engordan si comen demasiado. If you touch a fire, you get burned. Entonces si usted toca el fuego, pues ¿qué va a pasar? People die if they don't eat. Entonces la gente muere si no come. You get water if you mix hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen, sorry. And oxygen. Entonces usted obtiene, usted tiene el agua cuando mezcla el hidrógeno con el oxígeno. Snakes bite if they are scared. Entonces las serpientes, snakes, muerden si se sienten asustadas. If babies are hungry, they cry. Entonces, si los bebés están hambrientos, ellos lloran. So let's move on a short video, and I want you to notice how can it be used in a real situation or in any conversation.
If you are sick, do you go to work or do you stay at home? Listen to this conversation and learn how to use the zero conditional.
Hi, Anne. Do you want to see a movie with me tonight?
I'm sorry, but I can't. I'm feeling really sick.
I'm sorry to hear that. Did you go to work today?
I didn't. If I'm sick, I usually don't go to work.
What are your symptoms?
I have a headache and a sore throat.
If my throat hurts, I always drink tea. You should try that.
That's a good idea. I'm also going to sleep a lot. If I have a headache, that always makes me feel better. We use zero conditional sentences to talk about real conditions and results. Specifically, we use them to express truths or habits. In these sentences, there is a conditional clause that starts with if and a result clause. We use the simple present tense in both clauses. If I am sick, I go to the doctor. If you take medicine, you feel better. If you're sick, what do you usually do? This is American English. Thank you for watching.
Okay, as you can see, it's basically the same we have discussed last class and today's one. So we saw some examples, and the idea is that you are going to do this by yourself. And what you have to do is, for example, realize about the verb. You have a verb in brackets, you see? And this is the if clause because it has if. ¿Sí? Esta es la if clause porque empieza con if o tiene if. And then we have the main clause. And we have in brackets the main verb to become or to use in that sentence. So if I notice, be careful noticing the subject, okay? So it says I. If I wake up, como no es una tercera persona, entonces recuerden que voy a colocar el mismo verbo without any rules, without modifying anything. Si yo me levanto tarde, late, I, verbo to be. ¿Cómo es el verbo to be para el I am en presente? Because we are talking about the present simple tense. If I wake up late, I am late for work. Entonces, llego tarde al trabajo. Let's see. Okay, both of them are okay. So let's see the second example, and the others you are going to work by yourself, okay? If my husband, notice here I have my husband, this is a third person singular, my husband refer to esposo. Si mi esposo is a third person singular, cook. So I write a verb, but the rule, the spelling rule for this verb is adding just s. If my husband cooks, he, the main clause, he, the verb is born, quemar. But as he is a third person singular, so at S, he burns the food. Si mi esposo cocina, él quema la comida. So let's see. Excellent. So it's something that you are going to work by yourself. Now, let's see this part. In this part, I want you to see those. This is one part of a timeline that you present in the last worksheet. Entonces fue partes y he tomado algunos ejemplos de trabajos, de timelines que ustedes me enviaron. ¿Por qué? Porque esta nueva guía habla al respecto, ¿sí? Entonces vamos a utilizar el zero conditional. If done, ¿sí? Si no, vamos a hacer la guía porque son de los estudiantes juiciosos que asisten regularmente, que asisten regularmente, no siempre, ¿sí? Para que no quepa la menor duda. Entonces, es importante conocer el tema porque sí o sí va a aparecer en el ICFES, ¿sí? Entonces, es mejor que tenga claro esto. So, the idea was to take your goals for the future. Entonces, ustedes tienen unas metas para el futuro que colocaron en su timeline. What I want you to do is to take that part or to take that dream and use in a zero conditional structure. How, teacher? Ladies, buy my goods was the thing that a student wrote. Entonces fue lo que el estudiante escribió. Comprar mis bienes se refiere acá. Entonces yo lo voy a convertir en una oración. I buy my goods. Yo compro mis bienes. If I save money. Entonces sí, yo ahorro dinero. Entonces solo puedo hacer esto, solo puedo comprar esto si tengo dinero. ¿sí? A menos que no lo tenga, pues ya es diferente la situación. Remember that I don't use comma here because the second part of this structure is the if clause. Entonces acuérdense que aquí no voy a utilizar coma porque estoy utilizando la if clause in the second place. Entonces en el segundo lugar va esa, por eso no hay coma aquí. The second one, now other countries, conocer otros países. So I become that dream in a sentence. Remember the structure, subject, verb plus complement. Yo conozco otros países if I speak English. Si hablo inglés. Okay, there is one condition that it's very important to visit or get to know other countries, you know. Number 3, get older. If I do exercise, comma, I get older. So it means that I have written the main clause in the second place. That's why I used comma here. ¿Sí? Entonces, por eso utilicé la coma, porque la if clause la utilicé al inicio de mi oración. Si yo hago ejercicio, entonces puedo envejecer. ¿Sí? Puedo tener esa expectativa de vida. Finally, that students wrote die. Okay? So, I die, yo muero. Sí, estoy vivo. So remember the commas, remember that this is a very simple topic. The thing is that you need to practice. If you don't practice, you can improve your knowledge in this topic, okay? So let's move on to the next part. We have here some examples. Number 6, graduate 11. So I graduate, the same structure, becoming in a sentence, subject and verb, if I don't fail any subject. Entonces yo me gradúo si no fallo en ninguna materia. 7, takers, I imagine that is cena, okay? But remember that with proper nouns, you don't need to change in a different language. Entonces, para los nombres propios no es necesario cambiarlos. That's why I use Sena. I wrote down Sena, okay? If I get good marks, si yo tengo buenas notas, I take a course at Sena. ¿Sí? Entonces, is the same idea or the same dream. 8, study at the Santander General School. If I am disciplined, be careful, I'm using verb to be here, but in the present simple tense. If I am disciplined, I study at the General Santander Academy, okay? 9, to have a boyfriend. I have a boyfriend if I fall in love. Entonces, tengo novio, sí, me enamoro. 10, working with my dad in a supermarket. If I am committed, I work with my dad in a supermarket. Entonces aquí es, si yo soy responsable, ¿sí? Si soy disciplinada, entonces trabajo con mi papá en el supermercado. So those are examples. You can create the condition to that result. Remember that those of the dreams that you have established in your timeline are the main clauses. So what you have to come up with was with the if clauses. Entonces lo que debían hacer ustedes o lo que deben hacer es simplemente pensar en una if clause que tenga sentido con esta main clause. Sí, que la main clause que ustedes colocaron en sus timelines sean el result de haber hecho o haber cumplido cierta condición. Okay, so that's all. Remember that if you have any question, you can ask me, please. And that's all. Okay, it's easy if you practice. Bye.